Okay, today we're going to be showing you how to gain access to the internal components of the RA-60TB unit. And as you can see, we've already went ahead and removed the filters. If you don't know how to do that, go ahead and watch our how to remove the magnetic style filters. So now that we got those off, next thing we're going to want to do is make sure that we have the power cut off to the unit, as we're going to be exposed to a lot of the wires on the internal components. So make sure that the power is cut off, just to avoid any injury. Once we make sure there's no power, then we can continue. So the first things first is the filters off. Next step is to go ahead and get these side panels out. Now there's two side panels on each side, and they're actually being held in place by two screws, one at the bottom, one at the top. So we're going to go ahead and get these two screws out, and then and same goes for the other side, and then take off the side panels. Okay, now that we have both screws out, we can go ahead and take off the side panels. You can see I've already taken off the right one. I'm going to go ahead and take off the left one. You can actually just grab it from the side on the inner part right here and give it a nice turn to the outside. As you can see, we can go ahead and set this aside. Okay, in this step we're actually going to go ahead and replace the control switch on a RA-60TB. And as you can see, we already went ahead and moved all the filters and side panels, and made sure that the power is off to the unit, as we're going to be working with a lot of the internal wires. So we're going to make sure that the power is cut off. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and disconnect these two connections that are here on the inside of the range hood, which is the switch along with the power wiring. So you're going to want to take note of which way these wires are actually facing. So you're going to have the two for the power on the left, and then the actual one for the control switch on the right. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect those. One. And two. Next, what we're going to have to do is go ahead and grab a pair of needle nose pliers. And we're going to have to actually squeeze on the outside of these clips that they're actually holding on to this bottom bracket right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and squeeze it on the side, and then work the actual connector back towards the inside of the unit. And I'm going to do that for both connectors. So you're just going to go ahead and grab it from the bottom, from the top, and you're going to squeeze these connections in on the sides. I'm going to go ahead and work it back in. Once I get those unhooked, as you can see, I can go ahead and just push it in. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. Okay, now that we disconnected both clips and pressed the other side of the connectors back towards the inside of the unit, now we're going to actually go ahead and gain access to the internals, and remove these two screws on the side and drop this panel down. Okay, now that we have both screws out, we can go ahead and make sure that you're holding on to this panel, as now there's now this whole entire panel is actually going to be free, since it's not being held in by these base wires. So we're going to get a nice grip on it, and we're going to slide it out. And as you can see, now we're freely able to work on the entire internal component assembly, and we're going to continue with replacing this control switch. Okay, now we're ready to actually go ahead and replace the control switch. And before doing so, we're going to want to actually transfer all of our new connections from our new switch to the appropriate parts, or to the appropriate sections. And as you can see, the switch itself is actually being held in by these two screws, 1 and 2, but we're going to hold off on that. So we're actually going to go ahead and grab our new control switch with all our new connections, and we're going to make all the connections before we transfer everything, just so we don't get confused about where each clip is supposed to go. And as you can see right here, we're actually going to go ahead and line up our new connections to where the old ones were, and we're going to go ahead and line up the openings right here. So we're going to follow the power, which is this one right here, and we're going to line that up with the opening that's on this bottom part. As you can see, there's one big and one small, so you really can misunderstand on which placement where it's actually supposed to go. So we're going to go ahead and line that up and press it in. Okay. Push it all the way through. Okay, now the teeth are actually biting. The socket is secure. I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, with the biting clip at the bottom, as you can see. Push it through. Okay, now these are both properly seated. Now we can continue with our other connections, and we're going to go ahead and follow the remaining connections for the old one. So from here, These two are the ones we actually removed in the beginning. Next is we're actually going to go ahead and disconnect the light, transfer it to the new one. And then last but not least is the one coming from the capacitor. Like that. Okay. Now you can see that our new control switch has been completely wired. That's why we do one connection at a time so we don't get confused. And now that we've done that, now our old control switch has been disconnected and is ready to be removed by taking off these two screws. We're just going to go ahead and take these off, take this out, and go ahead and reinstall this control switch. You're also going to want to make sure that you do follow the same orientation, as these wires are closer to the top of this bracket, so make sure they're lined up the same way. And go ahead and reinstall that, and you're ready to go.